Click Stuff is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafe.com.
Welcome to Click Stuff.
Hey everybody, welcome to Click Stuff today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everyone know Tro and Toad sponsors our podcast, and we are brought to you by them. Find HeroClix new and old at troandtoad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Save 5% off your order of HeroClix when you use coupon code ClickStuff, that's all capitalized, at checkout. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. Shop troandtoad.com for all of your HeroClix needs. And if you like what you hear on ClickStuff today, be sure to check us out at patreon.com/ClickStuff. $1 and above gets entered into our monthly giveaways. $5 and above gets access into our Discord server and exclusive HeroClix classes. Certainly appreciate all the support on Patreon from all of our patrons. And joining us today is Jason. Can you stop talking, Alvy?
What's up?
And Tyler, 5 months left of Wales Spees.
We'll make it.
And then our special kind of guest host today, joining us from the podcast that he hasn't done in a while, is Alex Needs a Team Coos.
Hey now, we'll do it at some point.
Yeah, where's our sudden death at?
That's a good question.
Suddenly died, apparently.
Yeah, we experienced the sudden death.
It took a holiday break.
Yeah. So, well, Sam's ready to get back in it with you, so just let her know.
Yeah, we'll do.
So, today, man, let's say I shouldn't say this. Let me say this the right way. I am very excited about today's podcast.
Yeah.
Lots of cool things to talk about. We got new previews. I'm loving the new set. WKOs are starting back up. It's go time, baby.
Yep. I agree. Like, it's back into clicks. We had a month off more.
Yeah, the Winamax started. The online Winamax started back up Friday. Did you play in it, Tyler? The online Winamax?
I did not. I went to buy it and I was too late. Sad.
You snooze, you lose.
Fair.
I did. Yep.
What won last night, Alex?
It was if I remember correctly, it was the double Eddie Guerrero's Q. It was basically a big die manipulation team that Caleb played. Caleb Riddick? Is that how you said? Reddick? It was, I believe, 2 Eddies, Q, Trelane, maybe the other Q. Just a whole bunch of die manipulation and a lot of lucky rolls in the final match with Lucas, but he definitely pulled it off at the end. So
did Lucas play his Tri-Sentinels or something else?
He played a kind of a Alpha Strike type team with Medusa, Foot Elite, that type of team.
Oh, okay, the unthemed Alpha team. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played it with Mojo.
Yeah, he played with Mojo. It was really cool to watch. It's just he had some bad rolls, and Caleb hit some very good rollouts. But it was overall a really good finals match.
That's cool. Well, I'm certainly glad to see it starting back up and ready to get going in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a big show today. Today's show will be kind of driven by our listener questions. So we've got kind of one random listener question today, and then we've got a few. The majority of our questions are going to go along with the new set and the new Captain America. So let's first start off with McConnell Lamar's question of, with the rise of Pogs and Jason Weingard, will Dawnbreaker see a rise?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think we first have to see the rise of Jason Windegaard, right? Like, everyone keeps talking about him, but... Well,
Right.
yeah, he hasn't, I guess, broken to be one of the top teams yet, so I guess I'm hesitant to say, oh yeah, Dawnbreaker's there, because Jason's not yet there yet. Not you, Jason. The other Jason.
No, we haven't had enough events yet to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the Hellfire Club seems really good. The ruler version of it with the new Mandarin kind of is rising as well. But like, I don't know if Jason really commands his cost that he's driving right now.
How much is he? I don't even know.
He's above 75, and I just looked up Chase Jean right now, and she's $100.
What?
Yeah.
Not. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, because like we only own one, and Sam's getting back into it. I'm like, well, just let me go in there and see how much one is, and I'll get us a second one. Because ideally, I would like to own 4 of them, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I can own 10 Wendigos or 4 Chase Jeans.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know she was that much. I mean, she's really good, so.
Yeah, she's really, really good. And the reason I would want 4 would be like double Jason, double Jean, call out 2 Jeans. But I'm probably not going to be able to do that. That's just a whole lot of Jeaning going on.
Yeah, I mean, she is really good. Like, she is just as good, if not better, as the other Jean. And the other Chase Jean has been the best call-in for, like, 2 years, so.
Right. So I think it comes down to, like, Jean's really good. I see where Jean commands her price. But I don't think that Jason necessarily commands his value right now, dollar-wise. So, and in saying that, I think the problem... PJ probably needs to win more with it. It's certainly a PJ-esque team.
Yeah.
Where it comes down to is, I don't think that team works with anything but the best.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't think Jason works unless you have the 2 Chase Jeans, the best call-ins for the Pogs, and I forget whatever PJ used, but I mean, there certainly weren't like cheap pieces to get. Like, they were all super rare and higher in Con LE, I think. And then you have to be able to have, because his team is 2 Jasons, a Jean and a call-in Jean, at least, and maybe a second call-in Jean. I don't remember. And like Dark Phoenix is not cheap, because I think it's a 5, so it's like Jean, or Jason, Jean, Dark Phoenix. What's the other piece that I'm missing?
I think that's... Magneto, probably. He loves that piece.
Maybe there's a Magneto on there. I don't remember there being a Magneto, but...
Dude loves Magneto.
Yeah, the rare 2x2.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that rare Magneto is really good. But like, that team also just runs into issues with like stealth. And I still don't think that you can equip offensively with only a +5 or 6 right now.
No, you can't.
And especially not with the new stuff that's coming out.
But to kind of take it back, Dawnbreaker is still too expensive, and it's just not going to be a play.
Right.
I still don't think it is. So
yeah, so I say exactly. So I say all that to say, if you're going for Wineguard, you've got to go all in on Wineguard, and I don't think a lot of people can go all in on Wineguard, which means Dawnbreaker is not a good play.
Yeah. I think Wineguard's a really good play, so I disagree. But I don't think that Dawnbreaker's good enough.
No. Hold on. Well, Tyler, I don't disagree that Wineguard's not a good play, except for the stealth issue. It's just that you have to be able to go all in with Wineguard to get the most effectiveness out of him.
Sure.
I think if you're short on genes or you're not playing the second Wineguard or any of the other stuff, then I don't think he's worth playing then.
I don't know. He seems like basically a pick-a-power piece with how, with the, what am I saying? With so many, pogs you can bring in. Yes,
well,
thank you.
No, so, okay. So that runs into an issue with sideline space. So you have to have enough ID cards, right? You have to have at least 5 or so ID cards. And so then you're coming down. Oh, and the tank. That's where he got his 5th slot from, the tank. So the tank slots 1. So that's a slide line piece. So you're talking about 5 IDs and the tank, that's 6. You only got 3 choices for Pogs, and that means no trouble alerts either.
That's true. But I don't know. It just seems like he might be good enough to just ignore that.
I mean, I don't disagree, but
I think it's just the team is I hate using the term a finesse team. It's one of those, it's not easy to pick up and be like, oh yeah, I'll just, regardless of cost. It's not one I could be like, I have 2 Jasons, the Jean Grey, I could just pick up and play it this weekend at the WKO. It's when you actually have to figure out the nuances of making it work.
Yeah, probably.
It's not easy like Wales.
Sure. If you want to say that, that's fine.
But I mean, that's just kind of my thoughts on Jason Weingard. So, but I think that all aside, right, I don't think it makes Dawnbreaker a good choice.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the whole point of the question. So, Captain America and the Avengers. Our full set review will likely be not... Today is Saturday the 18th. So, it'll probably be 2 weeks from today, after we've had time to all play our pre-releases. So, for tonight, we've had quite a few previews. We want to go round table and select one of the new previews that we want to talk about. And then we've got pretty much the majority of the show after that dedicated to the new rare Captain America. So who wants to go first? Steve Rogers. Gotcha.
Yeah, Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers. All right, Jason, you're up first. Which new preview do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Spider-Man. Why not?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. My only comment on Spider-Man is he's lucky that he turns to green click numbers, so he doesn't get pinned by a wrestler to death.
Sure.
Hey, shout out to the design team.
That's a good thing.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, that Spider-Man's super cool. I know PJ was talking about playing him for the just as a call-in battery because he's so hard to kill on his stealth clicks. He's got traded 4 through 6 super senses that you can't outwit, which is perfect for Spider-Man. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
So he's got a split dial with 85 points, 5 clicks, Spider-Man team ability, improved movement, elevated, hindering, outdoor blocking, and characters, which I like that.
Characters.
And you switch his dial at the beginning of the turn. So he's got an offensive dial and then a defensive dial. His defensive dial is kind of the neat one. It's got sidestep, stealth, and then free Voop, 4 squares into hindering terrain, and then end cap is free, and then 4 through 6 super senses.
Which is all good. Incap is free is
Yeah,
nice.
that's all
So
pretty
it's
cool.
really good.
Yeah. Like I want to put a Nightbringer ring on him.
Yeah, I mean just for the
Let him
So he's
move
always in-
himself around. Yeah, always in stealth.
Oh yeah, I forgot he even had that Voop thing.
I
Yeah,
just said
that's-
that. I just
I know
literally
you
just
did.
said the Voop thing.
But yeah, I like him a lot. Like he's a good, really good call-in battery. And then if somebody like, gets dumb enough to come up to you, got 12 attack, like you just wail on him.
Did you just say whale on him?
I mean,
Yes, I did.
I wish his keywords were a little better. But
Yeah.
Well, now this is PS4 Spider-Man, right?
This is yeah, I know. Unfortunately, he doesn't have all the cool.
So
keywords.
unfortunately, yeah, he wasn't actually in the Avengers on the PlayStation.
I
game.
know.
Is that what
I
it's
know.
supposed to be? Really? Like I know it's the white, but didn't he have that?
Yeah,
on
that's where the
comics?
costume comes from.
He was in the comics.
No, this is the comics. He was in the comics in Spider-Geddon. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't the PS4 Spider-Man in the comics? Like, am I just making the? I'm not making this up, am I?
Oh.
No, they really brought him into the last Spider-Verse event. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
He,
Well, that's cool.
he was totally in the comics.
So it is supposed to be the Spider, which makes sense because there's like a stealth portion of the game. That makes this even cooler. I love this Spider-Man.
You know, something we're doing with this particular
Yeah, he's cool.
something we're doing with this particular piece locally is that if you take a selfie with it during, like at some point during the event, and Aaron Morgan's the one who came up with this, then you get an additional like theme team prop just once.
Hi.
Because that's his thing during the PS4 was he would take selfies. So if you take a selfie with it and then like put it on Twitter or whatever and tag WizKids, we're doing it as like a little local thing. I'm trying to get everyone else to do it. Just because that's his thing in the PS4 is that he takes selfies and that's his thing.
Okay.
I like that. That's super cool.
You know, little
That is pretty
things
cool.
to kind of spice things up, if you will.
Sure.
I like spicy. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I like spicy.
Well, he just literally said he's spicing
Yeah.
things up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's easier to say that than I'm whaling it up or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spider-Man's going to wail on you. I'm pretty sure he does not come out of the sea. Tyler, which piece do you want to talk about?
Captain Marvel. She's real good. Like, really, really good.
She's really good.
She has amazing keywords. She's gonna see play. Like, even if she didn't make the cat, she would be good. And then she has the cat, which is the second coming of Tickle. It's a perplex cat with blades,
And
It
Flurry
plays
and Plasticity
Flurry.
and Giant Reach.
super senses. Like, it's crazy.
And Perplex, right? Was that Perplex? Yeah, it was
I
Perplex.
said perplex at the start.
Yeah.
She has good powers. She has 3 stop clicks at full and 2 at low dial. The only thing that she's missing is like a rollout probably, but you could fix that real easy in today's game. She has the hypersonic speed, which is When Captain Marvel uses it after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to an opposing character she moved through. If that character is a vehicle, deal 3 penetrating damage instead. So that's obviously great. That is Shredder-esque. You get to deal 1 damage without, like, that kills Q, right? That kills any retail. It'll get things off clicks you don't want them to be on. It's after resolution, so if you hypersonic through somebody and attack them, put them on a stop click, like a Sheriff's Range, you can then ping them afterwards. On her stop click, she has protected outwit, so that's just something bonus. She gets prob and perplex on all of her stop clicks. She's just really, really, really good. Everything about her is good. Good.
Except that there's 2 things. Plasticity stops her, and her hypersonic speed power can just be outwitted.
Yeah, on the top. Which is true. I mean, the hypersonic speed I don't have an issue with, just because like, that's everybody, right? Almost everybody. The Uni doesn't have it. I mean, Colossal sort of do, basically.
Well, I mean, symbiote's still a thing. Like, I guess my first thought in general, as at the moment, right? Like, will it stop unseen? And I think so here, I'm just running down my general list of questions. Will it stop unseen, or how affected is it by unseen? Well, unseen can just outwit her and move away. I get that there's map and that sort of thing dependent and whatnot. Because Kobik's still going to be paired with unseen. The second question in general is, does it stop? How well does it do versus whales and Tri-Sentinels? Because those are the 2. Tri-Sentinels being the biggest abuse of the retail ruling, and whales being, I play in the same area as Tylor. If you're not good playing against whales, you're going to lose to Tylor.
Sure.
That's 100% a compliment to Tylor. And then also Tri-Sentinels being that they do have plastic boobies on their stop click.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then so saying that, and also whales do have, you have your Pog and your Carnage with plastic boobies. And then if she goes through and deals any sort of damage to the team, Surtur ignores the stop click.
He does, but he doesn't one-shot her.
Hold on, let's see. Dealing 3 damage to her, puts her on click 4, and then pings her again right before the next stop click. Yeah, where she's off. Then she's off her hypersonic power.
Yeah, it still takes 2 clicks to kill her. I mean, 2 attacks, 2 damage sources.
So essentially, what you're saying is that she's a post-rotation figure, because that takes away Surtur, Groot, so all the little plasticity guys. Like, that takes away a lot of the threats you're naming.
Agreed. Yeah. So pick her up now when she's going to be cheap after release, I think.
I mean, I think the biggest thing about her is that she crushes the ever-rising vehicle meta.
That's true.
That is coming.
Destroys it. Dude, those Thanos copters are not going to see it coming.
Yeah, the Thanos copter and its 10 clicks of life get wrecked.
That's right. It dies in 4 turns.
No. She runs through, and then she drops Chewie, who hits for 6 with the blades.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Chewie. Just like, if you could TK her out and just get an opening attack with her, so she hits. She does 1 penetrating. She calls out Chewie, who then flurry blades. Like, that's an amazing opening. She's crazy. Chewie's gonna have like an 11 attack because she got perplexed up. She has prob. I don't know. She seems real cool.
She has a backup strat if she gets her hypersonic outwitted. She could just move up and then drop Chewie. It's not ideal,
But it's something. I mean, it's not bad.
No.
Full move and then flurry with 11 attack blaze with prob.
Right. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I think that even post rotation, you're still not allowed to attack with your main force just yet, unless your main force is wiping the entire team.
Yeah. But hey, we're almost to a no unseen world, so.
I just don't know if that's true. There's a lot of teams that attack with their main force. I mean, Wales, for instance. Wendigo's attack main force. There's probably some other ones. I can't think of them.
But those two teams that you mentioned also have their own Retaliator swarm to back them up.
Yeah, I mean, she's cosmic. There's cosmic Retaliators.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. I mean, she can get giant girls. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not trying to poo-poo on her. It kind of sounds like I'm poo.
It doesn't sit back and shoot you for 6 damage, so he doesn't like it.
That's
so.
True. She just does a lot for points.
That's a valid point, is that she does not shoot you for 6 damage.
You know what? I did not think about that. You're right.
I think it's more. Dan's a little insulted that they tried to make a Tikal 2.0.
That's fair.
So I guess the question then becomes: can Captain Marvel? Who would win in the battle of Captain Marvel versus 150-point Black Panther?
Who would win in a fight, like a straight up fight, or like?
Sure, because they're both cosmic, and then the remainder of the 150 points would likely be about the same.
In a straight up fight, I mean, it just depends. If he hits his rollouts, then he would win. If she doesn't, then she would win, right?
I think she might have the edge because she has 2 attackers, right? Her and Chewie.
Could be.
She has stop clicks. He doesn't.
That's true. That's a big deal. In a straight up 150, yeah, she has to win, right? With 3 stop clicks and invincible on them. How are those spaced? I actually don't. 1, 2. So if you deal 5, it does put you next stop click. But he actually can't deal 5 on most of his clicks. So yeah, she should demolish him in that fight.
He can pick what click he would like to be on.
Does he have 5 damage on any of them?
No. I think he's got CCE, doesn't he?
Probably. He's got a lot of clicks.
Yeah, he does have RCE and CCE.
Okay, so we'd have to do that. That's assuming she doesn't just drop Chewie and like tie him up with plasticity, you know?
Right. If she does, then he has a poison click with CCE. Yeah.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be next to him. But yeah.
But Chewie would die.
Yeah, Chewie would die.
So he can click to that click and then click back. Here's my point.
I'm pretty sure she dominates that fight.
I don't know. I guess we have a match to film then.
Yeah.
Alex, what piece do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess it's the piece that had the most hype until this last preview, and that's Mandarin. I think Mandarin's so good. And I feel like he was alluded to for like the past 4 years. I don't know. Everyone keeps telling me for the past year, get all the rings. Get the rings. Get ready. You want to have all those rings. And he's kind of what I expected. I kind of expected, all right, if they're going to play a Mandarin that may have all the rings, he's probably not going to have Indomitable. But despite that, you could technically play him at 100 points, and he has all 10 rings. And at the beginning of your turn, you could choose up to 2 of those rings, and he can use their effects. I think he's good. I think he's real good. I feel like he's more of a support piece than a in-your-face attacker, so he's not as... he's not like Captain Marvel, where you're like, okay, this is an attack piece. Mandarin to me is, okay, he could be like a secondary, maybe a tertiary type fighter, but he's more of he's got all the support pieces, so he's going to be moving you around with the spin ring, he's going to be bearing up with 0, you're using Liar, so that way he can outwit from 10 away. You know, I see that more than being an in-your-face fighter, but he could. I mean, he's got 3 damage, 11 attack, running shot. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could. I mean, just incandescence ring makes him a threat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you play him with all 10. I think you play him with 0. Does he have... I had this wrote down, but I forgot it. He doesn't have stealth.
Yeah, so you need Nightbringer.
Right, so, well, he could have... I think he has 0, Nightbringer, Remaker, Influence, and what's the other one that moves that has TK?
Spin?
Spin. The Liar is probably okay.
See, I'd love Liar on him. Because
I
Liar...
like
Yeah, because, I mean, Liar lets you use his Outwit and Perplex at 10 range.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't discount Daimonic, because you could tag team that with Liar, and so if you're dealing with someone with stealth, now he can see through stealth and he can outwit them. Now, sure, that if they have Power Cosmic, that does nothing, but he can still outwit from that distance.
Sure.
Well, an incandescence gives him an energy explosion, right? Is that dual target?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's penetrating.
I don't know. I guess I've just never been a fan of incandescence. It's cool, but I could see it being pretty good on him to be a good second, third attacker.
Yeah. I mean, I think my point is that your default is just not, hey, let's play all 10 rings on him.
No, definitely not. They cost 3 points apiece, if anybody hasn't seen it. Each ring you can add to him during force construction at 3 points apiece. And he can't be equipped anymore, obviously. So play 2 of them, just to show that you have 20 rings.
That sounds like a disaster. Okay. What do you get? You guys have anything else you're thinking about on him?
No. I mean, incandescence and lightning are both good if you have both of those, but
Yeah. Start getting your rings now before they go out of stock on eBay and up in price.
Yeah, I saw most people were selling for like $5 now. Like that's not gonna last.
Yes, get them now as opposed to later. So, all right, guys, are we ready?
probably not.
Okay, probably not.
I
Are
can't
we
wait.
ready
We're gonna talk about the Ultra Chase, right? I can't wait.
Oh, you know what? I did forget to. I did forget to mention my piece that I wanted to talk about.
That's true.
Mine's gonna be simple. I love the Shield Agent.
The 15.1?
Yeah.
The Shield Agent known as Peggy Carter, the Ultra.
No, just the regular old Shield Agent for 15 points. I also like the Shield Officer. I'm just a really big fan of the Shield team ability. Since you guys all pick super rares and stuff, I'm picking 3 commons: the Shield Agent, the Shield Officer, and Sharon Carter. Both super hype for low point Shield pieces, and that was before Steve Rogers was previewed. So,
I mean, they're really good. I like how they have super senses, so they're not like, and stealth, so they're not like just an auto, kill for that low point.
and then improved targeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. And
improved movement.
Good powers too. Range combat expert, close combat expert.
Yeah. And end cap with double bolts. And I was a big fan of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
Oh, okay.
So the special end cap power is called Icer, so that's what they used on the show.
Icer. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, then Sharon's just, perplex, and it gives out wit, and then, 35 point themed perplex, whether it's Avengers Shield. Just a big fan of that piece as well. I mean, you're talking about just on a shield team, right? Like 3 team abilities is 3 perplexes to range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like that Sharon Carter a lot too. She's really cool.
Yeah.
You can choose to do their 1 damage if you want to go off the offensive.
No, you're thinking of Peggy.
Oh, okay. Sharon's the leadership one. My bad.
Yeah, and then Peggy's like the Prime from Nick Fury. She couldn't have like lines of fire drawn to her either or something. I'd have to look her up. I'm gonna look her up so I don't misquote that.
Yeah, I think
Peggy.
the shield agents are good because they're basically a non-colossal way to fluff theme for shield, because shield doesn't have any colossals.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, Peggy had stealth if she was closer to an opponent's starting area than her. She had shape change and stealth. The Prime Peggy Carter from Nick Fury. Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, that's the point, is the 15-point theme fluff. That's not a big giant target,
and not just a big waste sitting in. Like, they can actually do stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. If you like that kind of thing.
The shield officer has plasticity top dial.
Captain
He's
Marvel
not
garbage.
He's not getting pinged by Captain Marvel. Stand down, Captain.
I mean, he still could, technically, if he had moved up and attacked somebody next to him, and then rolled the hypersonic breakaway, rolled 6, then moved over. Boom, dead. Got him.
1, 2, 3. He would be on his last click, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, then he would take the ping damage and he would die.
Boom.
And hopefully he's not stupid enough to get in the shield car.
All right. So now we're officially ready to talk about Rare Steve Rogers and how awesome he is.
Or isn't.
Or isn't. Okay. So, I'll just say this for folks that are listening. We're going to talk about Vulture last. So the first thing I want to talk about is, let's go over what Steve Rogers does, and then let's talk about, is Steve Rogers good on his own? Just kind of in a bubble. Okay? So, Steve Rogers, for those who have been living in a hole for the past 4 days, 50 points, 4 range, shield team ability. Holy shit, he has the shield team ability. Shield team ability and the Avengers team ability.
Holy
I don't even know. I didn't even know what the hell he did. I just knew his trait.
Yeah.
Shield team ability, Avengers 4 range, 5 clicks of health. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks to kill him. Living Legends trait. So that's the first time each game Steve Rogers would be KO'd, instead turn into his lost non-KO click, and then he roll a d6 and heal him equal to half the result. So minimum of 2 attacks, 6 clicks of damage total have to be dealt to him. Or poison or whatever, right? But 2 attacks in general have to be dealt to him. Perplex, leadership, and then assembled Avengers once per turn when Steve Rogers hits. I don't think that's a huge trait, but it's roll 5 through 6. He gets to remove an action token or give an action token. If his force has 6+, do both. But he's only 10 for 2, so probably not a huge hitter. But he also has sidestep with 7 movement. So, in a bubble, 50 points for leadership, perplex, and then a sidestepping equipper that takes 2 attacks and 6 damage to KO is probably worth it.
No.
I think so. I think if he didn't have Living Legend, then he wouldn't be good. But I like the Living Legend trait. So
now here's my argument. Everyone played ADW 054 Captain America on Avengers teams with Hawkeye, and he had leadership and outwit and perplex, only 5 clicks, no sidestep. And
Didn't come back when he was KO'd.
He didn't come back when he was KO'd. And everyone was totally okay with playing ADW 054 Captain America on Avengers teams. And he didn't even have the shield team ability.
Right. I mean, he had leadership outwit perplex. The outwit was big.
The outwit was okay. It wasn't like the defining factor of him.
Right.
I mean, he was there for leadership mainly. That was the first reason he was included.
Mm-hmm.
And then the perplex.
Just trying to think of why he was played.
He was played because of the leadership and the perplex.
Yeah, and an added benefit, his trait was good for the giant girls. When they heal after actions resolve, you roll these. It's like an extra flavor thing.
Yeah, that was a little bit of the extra icing on top. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, giant girl could hit, heal, remove an action token potentially.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was that. I mean, it wasn't huge, but that did play into it. Yeah, that's a good argument.
Right. So like, if that Captain America was played and proven, like that Captain America was on Hawkeye teams and other random Avengers teams that won events, why suddenly would this Captain America not be good for those reasons alone?
Let me think. So you lost outwit. Basically, you lost outwit and stealth. You gained sidestep and the comeback. Pretty much is the trade-off here.
It's kind of the argument, yeah. And shield team ability on the new one.
Yeah, that is relevant.
They both had Avengers team ability.
Okay. Just trying to think.
And the biggest thing right now, I think, is that the new one, cannot be Unimined. Can't be one shot.
Oh, because it basically soft click, yeah.
Well, now, I would say that also applies to Super Rare Cyclopses, Jean Greys, and a lot of other things that can shoot for 6 damage. It's not just Uni.
Sure.
Uni's not the only thing shooting for 6 damage, to be fair. To be fair.
Yeah.
Did I win you over, Tyler?
I think you did.
I don't think I could ask for more than that, like, from a Captain America that's an old man.
He is an old man. That is fair.
He definitely looks more spry in this sculpt than the last one.
Yeah, the other one's like decrepit with his cane.
Well, I think he actually picked the shield back up for this one.
Yeah,
was the big change. What do you think, Jason?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think he's just fine. I don't see why people don't like him. Like, why not? I don't get it. What are you going to play instead of him?
Well, I mean, on your Avengers team, on your Avengers team. Right. So now that's all like a good beefy piece of cake, right? Like that's a solid slice of meatloaf. So during force construction, you may choose a standard character of 50 points or less. That character loses its printed keywords for the entire game, and then gains Avengers or Shield keyword. Choose one. Duh. Holy shit.
I think I get it now. I think Tyler didn't like him at first because he cannot make a whale an Avenger.
You got it. That's it.
Okay.
You have to take the Namor off the base. You take the Namor off the base,
Uh-huh.
and it's fine.
I find it really interesting that, for me personally, the previews, it's kind of like, oh, that's neat, okay. But then Steve Rogers drops, and it's really unfortunate that he dropped at the same time as the Ultra Chase.
Yeah.
Because Ultra Chase is like, oh, that's neat. All right, see you, Ultra Chase. Let's talk about Steve. That it like rocks the set. Like now the set is like, wow, I feel so much better about the set because of this one figure, which is weird.
Well, and you know what's cool is that the Ultra Chase Peggy Carter can be on the sideline for when Steve Rogers, the living legend, dies for the first time, or
and
for
then
the last
she
time.
gets living legend.
Right, now she do give up points.
Yeah.
But she can be on the sideline and she generates a pog.
Yep.
So this Steve Rogers qualifies to bring in the Ultra Chase as well. Now the other Captain America does as well, but he's retired. So
he definitely earns his 50 points on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on
now,
the team, we were
more
talking
than
about
that.
Yes, I agree.
Well, why do we care about a vacuum? You're not playing in a vacuum.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that that was kind of the basis of the argument to start out with. It's like, is this Steve Rogers worth playing? Now, because we all kind of know we've already settled on, I think, ourselves in this group that the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, how do we look at this in an objective manner?
Yeah.
For the podcast. So now, lots of folks have asked us, given us lots of suggestions on who we think should be an Avenger or a Shield agent, and I think we want to talk about all of those as we go through the list here. Now, I would say we're going to talk about Vulture last, if I hadn't said that already. We're going to talk about Vulture last and why Vulture becomes good. I really want to talk about Vulture right now, but I'm going to force myself to wait.
Yeah, we don't want people to hear you talk about Vulture and then turn off the podcast afterwards. You got to wait till the end.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hold that to the end.
Gotta keep them wanting more.
Yeah. Gotta keep them wanting more. All right. So first up is Jeremy Christie, and he said Moriarty from the last Star Trek set. So I'm gonna pull him up. Now, you guys just go ahead and talk in. Do you guys like him or don't like him?
Moriarty?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Let me look him up.
Oh, yes.
All right, so Professor Moriarty has stealth, outwit, perplex, and then when he uses either to target an opposing character until your next turn, the character can't use team abilities, and Professor Moriarty can use any team abilities the target can't use to this effect. So he's like a mini Ultra Chase Thanos. / Kobik. Now he also has Mastermind, 18 defense, and stealth. So then the keyword that he would gain means that he could Mastermind to, lots of other characters on the Shield or Avengers teams.
Okay.
So he brings Perplex and Outwit to say Shield or Avengers. I think he probably fits into the Shield team. I don't know if I like this guy the best, but Stealth, Mastermind, Perplex, Outwit that gets rid of team abilities is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if I like him enough.
I feel like he'd go more on Avengers teams than Shield, because Shield already most likely is going to play Kobik, and Kobik could do the team ability switch thing.
Oh, that's true.
So that's true. It would have to be Avengers.
Yeah.
Unless you want to switch team abilities, and then he just takes those team abilities back. and just say, okay, I'm switching abilities, and now you can't use those abilities I gave you, but Moriarty can. Like, it just kind of
Yeah.
doesn't really fit, but
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. Rich Mr. Big Trosack, 222 Unleashed Catwoman is my go-to Avengers or Shield. I'm not going to... We typically deal with Modern, and that's what we're going to deal for the remainder of the podcast because there's a ton of things I think you could open up to in Golden Age. But for what it's worth, for discussion's sake, 222 Unleashed Catwoman is a 50-point figure with 8 clicks of health.
That's pretty good.
Which seems pretty good in and of itself. 10 attack, 2 damage exploit with willpower and stealth. I don't actually hate that as an idea.
Okay.
and you said Golden Age, and now the thought of Fast vs. Penguin being an Avenger is exciting.
That's
Oh, man.
Or just even Robo Penguins and do the super rare. Anyway.
Oh, man, that's good. I like that. Carlton Kammer asked, everyone wants to build Avengers team. I think you should look at Shield. Both are being looked at really heavily. So next up is Adam Cole. And I want to save Adam Cole's figure for the Vulture discussion. So don't let me forget to do that.
Okay.
Michael Kupak with a bit of humor says, suited henchman for the win. Am I right or am I right?
I like it.
You are always right, Mr. Kupak. So, because it doesn't matter if you bring him in, he doesn't count against 4 or against theme team, regardless of his keywords. Luis Reyes has 2 good options here. Shirtless Captain Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Just another Alpha Strike.
Well, now that does work really well with the transporter. No, the transporter. Hold on.
Coulson?
Coulson, transporter Phil Coulson. Because that gives him a lot. Yeah, it gives him a lot of movement, and then he can come over and make the attack after the hit. But I guess because Phil Coulson does have Avengers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make sense. I was thinking Shield, but that would be Avengers 2 with Medusa. So you got kind of an Avengers Alpha Strike team going on there, right?
And it's pretty realistic that Captain Kirk could talk his way onto the Avengers. So.
Yeah.
I think Captain Kirk could talk his way into Shield Academy. I mean, he had to get his way out of the Federation a few times. Because wasn't it the anyways, Captain Kirk he was the one that passed the test or whatever, or was that who am I thinking of, Jason? Didn't he pass the thing to the Captain Kirk maneuver is what they ended up calling it?
The Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, the Kobayashi Maru. I know what that is.
Yes.
I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
it's like the unwinnable scenario. Like he cheated basically. He reprogrammed the computer and made it where he could actually win because he doesn't.
Yeah, so he could. Yeah, so he could definitely get into Shield.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, if Wolverine can help out Shield at some point, then he could definitely get on there.
And then his second choice there was Mr. Oz. You guys come up with anything else cooler there, but like both those teams are oddly missing really good TK pieces.
Yeah, Mr. Oz was one of my first thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like you would think like the Avengers would have some TKers in mind, but usually that only ends up being like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he's maybe necessarily the top choice.
yeah, he's up there. My favorite choice is well, I'm just negating the obvious. Is Doctor Strange. I like him a lot.
You talking about Sheriff Strange?
Sheriff Strange. Yep, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's really good.
Yeah, I do like Sheriff Strange.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the leadership, the perplex, the double token rising toys. Yeah.
The stop click, the super senses. Now,
Yeah.
I think I think he fits into either one, but I think putting him with Kobik becomes money right out of the gate.
Putting who with Kobik?
Sheriff Strange.
Sheriff Strange, okay.
Because, let's be honest, that's already been done. Now, there's not a retail that's on board, but we can call out our retail now. So, you call out an Iceman or a Blue Phoenix or Storm, and then you swap the team abilities, Mystics for something else, shoot them, retail them, win.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean,
now to be fair, it's not as good as Googing them.
Man, if we had a Bangog ID card, that'd be the shit.
I don't think that's needed.
Why not?
But I think it's perfectly serviceable, right? The regular idea there. So, so another one while I'm just looking here, you can run multiple caps to put multiple 50-point characters on your team. It's not limited to one. The cap is not a unique, so you can definitely do both.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know people were asking about that.
Yeah. Dylan Disney. I should say Alex Caviccioli says she thinks Peggy will be an amazing sideline for this team. Agreed. We answered McConnell Lamar. Dylan Disney said Trader to Shield. I think that's another one that makes sense, like Sheriff Strange. I mean, Trader goes with Kobik.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
And that's like biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that one makes sense, but I don't know how practical it ends up being. I mean, I guess it does. I'm just thinking from the standard Kobik Trader team, you usually have retail to do the little Mystics trick and all of that.
Well, no, like Kobik Trader is typically themed cosmic.
Right. So you would go. So you're saying they go. What's the benefit of him being the shield person?
Well, just because.
Cosmic?
So you would have the theme team probs, and I think the answer is that essentially it works the same way. Because Kobik Trader locks you down, but they're also just ID card cannons. And Shield, I think Shield to me defines ID card cannons. And then you get it with a proper, name theme team with more probs.
Just to me, it sounds like one of those combos that sounds great on paper. You're like, of course, Kobik Trader on Shield. But when you get it down, you're going to see that the Cosmic version is far superior. Because Trader loses Cosmic, so he'll lose the keyword Cosmic if he picks up Shield. So you have to run a Shield team. So
I agree with that.
I think it's one of those, it sounds great, but I feel like you're going to be like, man, the Cosmic version is going to be superior. But I could be wrong.
I think to me, everything that we're talking about here in general sounds great on paper, except for Vulture. So the point is that this whole Captain America or Steve Rogers opens up so much more than before. It's crazy.
And unfortunately, this one piece is going to infuriate every player that plays only comic accurate teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not. Well, yeah, it will.
Yeah, because they'll be like, hey, what do you know? This guy's an Avenger now. It's like, well, that's a DC person. That can't happen.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
want to
Jason.
make the Skull an Avenger so he has a team to play with.
Yes, the main set skull.
The main set Skull. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that
sounds
a
like
lot.
a fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Now his for Avengers, he said EW Super Rare Green Lantern.
That's the one that brings people back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you could bring back who?
I don't know. I'm trying to think too.
Yeah, Dylan, if you listen to the episode, feel free to post in our group some more of your thoughts on why EW Super Rare Green Lantern would be a good choice.
I mean, this is one of those scenarios where you play two of them, two Captain Americas, or Steve Rogers, so that way you could bring back Vulture for round 2.
Yeah, there you go. That's something.
I don't disagree with that.
Something, that is exactly.
Now, unless he was, and the only other thing that I can think of is if he was talking about the. No, you can't. The carrier Green Lantern is 55 points, so.
There's tricks with this Green Lantern that, because she's only mystical, I don't feel like we saw anything. So there could be some crazy instance out there that no one's thinking about. I mean,
yeah, I guess I'm just missing about who you bring back. Like, if I could just get a better understanding of who he's thinking of bringing back, then I think the team would make that suggestion would make a little more sense to me.
Because, I mean, it's not set to just standard characters, so you could bring back all the Giant Girls, right?
Just one of them, though.
Yeah.
One per turn.
One per turn, yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm just not
you didn't
seeing
choose the name of a friendly character that you haven't chosen this game.
Yeah.
So you can only do it once.
You only do Giant Girls once.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a piece that people haven't mentioned yet, so.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's so good that we can't even think why. And I always go with the fact that it's just something that I'm missing, not that his suggestion is bad. So I'll be 100% clear with that. So I wanna learn, Dylan, why you suggested that piece. So please educate us.
It's just a really powerful. It has a really powerful effect. That's my guess.
Yeah, I agree. So this is probably a good point to turn a little side street. Jacob Marcus wants to know, is there significant power creep in this set? And do we think that it'll affect upcoming sets?
There might be in terms of stats on the figures. I mean, trying to think.
Yeah, it definitely feels like stat for point formula is different now.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. It just feels that way. And I think if anything, it just feels different because there's new traits and abilities and that sort of thing than there used to be.
I think we've reached a certain level, and we reached this a while ago. Like, I can't think of the last set that we had outside of Uncanny X-Men, like, just a bad set where all the point values and, like, they didn't give Indomitable to anybody. Like, in general, all the really powerful figs have a caveat, or they're just, like, they're either short dial or...
I think it comes from Thor, is what people... Like, that's the thing that set people off, I think.
Yeah.
Can you name someone that has that good of a dial, like, stats-wise, for that many points? In the past, 125 points. He's got 9 clicks with a stop click. So I do think that there is power creep. Like, it's that as far as just the dial, like length of, just like the basics. Nothing like with crazy powers or anything. I do think there is, but I feel like people think that power creep's a bad thing, and it's not. Like, power creep's in every game, and it should be in every game. The game would die without power creep. It becomes a problem when it gets too rampant and it scales up too quickly, and I don't think we're close to that with HeroClix.
Very well said, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't think with this set there's a significant amount of power creep in general. If anything, it might be a little bit of a step up, but I'm under the impression, this is kind of a generic set in a sense, Captain America and the Avengers. I mean, that just sounds pretty generic, and I am under the impression, well, because we're getting Fantastic Four this year, we're getting some more DC stuff, that we're not going to see multiple Avengers sets per year.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's like, all right, here's your Avengers for the next year and a half. Enjoy.
I just do think that there is power creep in this set. I mean, like I mentioned Thor. There's Captain Marvel, who is for 150 points. She's 9 clicks with 3 stop clicks and like 12 attacks and stuff. There's a lot of 12 attacks in this set. Iron. Well, I mean, it was a Super Rare Prime, but the Punisher War Machine has 12 attack for 4 damage. Peggy Carter, obviously, but she's an Ultra Chase, but her stats are crazy. That Spider-Man at 12 attack for 80 points, 85, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think the stats are higher, but I don't think it's super crazy or anything like that. I think it's fine.
I think it'd be interesting to...
I mean, Thor's not the first.
Go ahead.
Thor's not the first 125-point character that we got that's 12 attack and 5 damage. Like the Hulk common from AVPI has 12 attack and 5 damage for 125.
He does, but is he 9 clicks with a stop click?
He has the same powers.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying his stat values, top click, are the same. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the smart one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. And that guy, yeah. That's
Well,
fine.
I mean, if you're going strictly by 12 attack,
And he's 8 clicks.
period. So far, according to the rounds, we only have 6 figures in this set that have 12 attack on their first click.
I would guess that is significantly higher. I'm pretty sure there's sets that like have 1, maybe.
Dark Phoenix, Dark Phoenix has the Colossal, so that's a little off. Regenesis has 6. Black Panther has 9.
Yeah, but that had the cosmic beings, the big cosmic things too.
Well, no, that's Infinity had a ton. I mean, Infinity had 10.
Yeah, does Rebirth have any?
Let me go down to Rebirth and see.
Say maybe like Murder Machine.
Rebirth had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically, most of the chases, Black Adam, Red Hood, and Superman. So I mean, it's been pretty consistent, 6 to 10. I mean,
okay, but that's.
I think if anything, if I was to wrap that one up, it's that the traits seem more invasive than before, or more powerful than before.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's like the stats and the dialing, like for the points.
Trinity War had 10.
Right, but that like these are like Black Adam pieces are like 250 points. They're not 75-point pieces and
that's true.
Like with the Thor, it's like he's 125 points with 9 clicks, 9 really good clicks. Like that, that's pretty crazy. And
it would be interesting to do the numbers and just to see because you had bad sets like Joker's Wild and X-Men where they'd like cut the power creep. So are we getting to the point to where they're going to cut the power creep back again?
Yeah.
Possibly. And I think we'll get that power creep cut back with the Fantastic Four set, and Mr. Fantastic will be 133 points with an 8 attack.
I don't think so. I think this is the power creep is building up the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'm being
14 attack, 7 damage. So everyone's happy, and then
I'm being 100% facetious. So,
Yeah,
all right, let's move on. I like.
Four's a wild.
Patrick Fraser says Vulture. We're going to get to him. Brian Sinkoff, I like this one. 40-point Billy Batson. Now, again, I think this is just there's so many there's so many at least decent options. Well, if you think about it,
yet, did we?
huh?
No,
we didn't.
Isaac yet, did we?
Because we're going through the listener ones first, and then we'll have our own. But like Billy has a ton of keywords, but none of them are necessarily relevant right now, other than mystical.
Yeah.
So you put Billy on a theme team where he's calling out 40-point IDs with Perplex and theme team probs and the ability to turn into Shazam. I can dig that one.
Yeah, I mean, Billy's just good, so anything that's good at 150 points would be a good,
Right. Terry Tiffany Rose mentioned, unfortunately, not one of my favorite figures, Mr. Terrific. And I'll say this again. Mr. Terrific is not good because his thing is Terry taught me the importance of fair play. He affects your pieces negatively as well. Fair play means balanced play, which is typically not indicative of a HeroClix competitive piece. Something is off balance with the piece, which is what makes it good.
Yeah, I just don't like that piece.
I mean, there's a lot of 4 damage Side Blast that can just wipe Mr. Terrific off the planet.
Yeah.
And they can get to a 12 attack, and it'll be a 12 on a 19 or a 12 on an 18. But it'll only be a 12 on a 19 because of the rule of 1, so not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, 7's perfectly average, right, Tyler?
Yep. Well, it's actually slightly above average or below average. Well, you have a 52%.
I'm being facetious, Tyler. We get it. Okay. We get it, Mister. I play Wales without problem. Richard Leo says shifting focus data. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to post something different.
I like it.
And I don't hate it. A shifting focus figure that can theme on a different theme.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't like. I would have wished I could have put shifting focus Superman on the Avengers team. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
But now, do we have like any shifting focus Batmans left? I don't think so.
No. We have. I know we have Superman, but he can't shifting focus into anything.
Yeah.
Right.
We might have a Batman. No, I think it was just Superman in that set, right? Or was Batman also?
There was a
yeah, there's a Batman, but that's it. Just that Batman.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about the shifting focus. You lose the ability to use them for theme team props, so that's just one thing to think about.
I mean, yeah, if you pull him out to another one,
right?
And then so Paul Cote, I think, asked the question, the last one here before we get into our own figures, real quick. Of what are good figures for Machine Man Pog to duplicate?
Smith.
And I think I'm maybe reading Machine Smith wrong here, so I want to take a look at him.
It would be enemies.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't that all of what your opponent plays? Like, you can't control that, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the unfortunate with Machine Smith is it's standard. If it was not standard opposing characters of 100 points or less, then Machine Smith would be dumb. It's like,
that's right. So if Tyler, if you play against Machine Smith, like, I'm sorry, your robot dupe gets nothing.
Yep. Well, yeah, because otherwise he could be Surtur or something.
Yeah, that would be nuts. I mean, I think the main thing with Machine Smith is you'll see him on the Jason Wingard teams.
Yep.
Wingard.
I agree. Oh man, that would be fantastic if you could make the robot dupe a Surtur for.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Oh, you attacked me. Here comes a robot dupe of Surtur.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
pretty
man.
insane, dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
the downside to the robot dupe is it can use the displayed combat powers and displayed standard powers. So even for someone like you copying Kobik, because she's 100 points, well, you won't get half of her powers because
Right.
you don't get traits and you don't get her special powers. So it's
It's
kind
hard
of like, okay.
figuring out how to use that. There's some good ones. It just is like I'm just trying to think.
it all depends on what your opponent plays. Therefore, it's unpredictable, really.
Yeah, it's
But
a wait.
good for
It's a
Jason.
wait and see. You want to wait and see how the meta unfolds with all of this to see how many standard 100 points or less characters are played. Like a Hulk, maybe that. Well, not even the Hulks aren't that great because you need the trait.
Well, I mean, it's still good. It's still 12 attack, 4 damage, right, for a Pog.
But no movement attack. So that's tricky.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think who I would use. I can't really think of much.
Maybe some wrestlers,
Maybe, yeah.
some WWE.
I was thinking like a Wolverine, but you don't get the flurry. It's kind of meh. I don't know. It's rough.
All right. So, are you guys ready?
Real quick, I got
Go
one
ahead.
real quick. If they play the Danger Room, there you go.
That's a good one. That'd be really good.
You can copy the
Ooh.
Danger Room figs. You don't have the limitations anymore. So there you
That's
go.
a good one. Or that
I hope
Thor,
you-
I guess
I
we were
found
just
one.
talking about was good. That Thor we were just talking all the power creep figures that we were just talking about were probably good.
You know what? Danger Room would be good. So, good figures besides Vulture to induct into Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. that wasn't listed in our comments. Jason kind of brought up the big one for me is Isaac. I mean, Isaac makes Pogs. Isaac's hard to kill. Isaac has an 8 range with good perplex and his special outwit on his second click. And then the shield makes ID card cannons, right? And then by extent of that, it can make Pog cannons.
Yeah,
Yep.
just good.
I mean, like, we're just talking about, like, Isaac here. He's a WizKids Marvel figure. Let me see if I can find his Pogs real quick. Lord Gaia, Stellarax is a running shot. He'd be 8 range, 13 attack, 6 damage. So Psyblast, that's pretty cool.
So one thing you could do with Isaac is he already teamed Robot with Iron Man, the Earth X one.
Mhm.
And now you could do it under Avengers and have a better shot of a higher theme because of all the giant girls and theme team prop. Because that
Right.
combo of Iron Man and Isaac got you the perpetual barrier because of his Pog and Iron Man having barrier. So you could perpetually have barrier up because you'll never have too many tokens essentially.
Yeah.
And the biggest issue with that Iron Man was if you don't win map, you're kind of hosed a bit, and higher theme helps with that.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Who else do you guys have?
I like the Danger Room constructs. You could bring Magneto or Sinister. You could bring Sabretooth, but I actually really don't like the Danger Room Sabretooth. So Sinister, I think would be amazing because he's a really good piece in general. And then they'll just make him an Avenger, give him the spin ring or something, and he's going to be your main support piece that it's going to be really hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And you could bring one of them, and kind of Steve Rogers is kind of a don't die in the sense that he takes at least 2 hits. So you could play him with Immortal Hulk and have a pseudo don't die team. That's cool. So
That is cool.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good suggestion.
I like
Ty-
that.
Oh, go ahead.
I like the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead, Jason. It's fine.
Oh, I like the Ferengi salvage crew.
Well, I was going to talk about him when we got to Vulture.
Okay.
Sorry, I hadn't forgot. I just hadn't got there yet.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I just like Sheriff Strange a lot. That'd be my one.
There's just so many possibilities. It's interesting.
Yeah,
It is
there's quite a
interesting.
bit.
I will agree it is interesting.
All right, so are we ready to talk about Vulture, or is there any other ones we want to mention?
Are we ever ready?
I don't know if we're ever ready, but I don't know. Like, I'll say one last one that I wish that I've been trying to make good.
Okay.
XXS Common Prime Mora McTaggart.
Common Prime.
Because handing out triple bolt mind control as an Avenger should be good, but I don't know what Avenger has mind control that's really good. But I've been wanting her to be good for the longest time, and she just hasn't been.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about Vulture. I have kind of a little statement to make talking about Vulture. On the podcast here, we talk a lot about Vulture being a gatekeeper build. Vulture unthemed has won events. Vulture also does not need his arc arms to run through a team. I'll pause. Anybody disagree with me that there are several teams that are currently being played that Vulture can run through without his arc arms?
Yep. I mean, nope.
Not the Living Legends.
Sure.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not the Living Legends, I agree. But there are several different types of teams that Vulture can run through without his arc arms, and just in general be fine, right? And now whether that's he could be enhanced by like a call out exploit weakness, inspiration, or something along those lines. Or use super strength or something along those lines. So there's a lot of things that are currently being played that Vulture can just go through. The retail heavy teams. So any team that just has something that can die to 6 damage from a close attack and can do that repeatedly for just say like 120, 150 points of the team that can be ran through like that, Vulture can just run through it. That happens today.
Right.
Second part of that, Vulture won Nationals.
Yep.
Now, he didn't win the final game, but I think it's important to note the conditions. Now, someone said that Pat got really lucky from top 16 on.
No.
So there is that is definitely no, and I was one of them that he ran through. Now, every one of these top 16 games, so that's 4 games, the players one map that he played against, they had control of the board by having control of the map. Every one of those players made mistakes that cost them the wins in their games. That is Daniel Powell included.
Okay. Yeah.
So, point being, Pat played Vulture well, got his win fair and square, with Vulture being good on an unthemed. You talk about Vulture now having a 10-11 theme to guarantee him getting his arc arms. I'm sorry, let me correct. A super, really good, better chance of him getting his arc arms, and it's really freaking scary. Now, he did lose his poison, the gas canister thing, but there's a lot of things being played without rollouts. Like we were just talking about how good the Trader Gardner team still was. But if Vulture gets his Ock Arms on a more guaranteed basis, he runs through all of the Elders with Flurry. And with a high enough attack, that Q likely doesn't affect it that much. But with him not being on a theme team, they can blow up his Ock Arms and deal with him a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's still really good. It's really, really good.
Right. Now, like Tyler, you think in your example, for the most part, you can get in Vulture's face in an unthemed to where it doesn't matter if he gets the Ock Arms, you're attacking his back row turn 2.
Mm.
If he consistently has a higher map theme than you, your team's in danger.
Yep.
You know, and you know, a lot of the higher themes are just in danger of getting ran through by Vulture. And you think about like against like your team. I'm not trying to like pick on your team. You're just on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But even like if he wins map against your team and doesn't have his Ock Arms, he can potentially string through a whale and some other things and just get to your back row.
Yeah, if he wins map, yeah, well that's like the whole thing. Like
even if he doesn't have the Ock Arms, right? Like he can
Right.
shoot a whale to stop and then chain to your back row and get all your retaliators. And then he's scored 100 and something points, which is probably enough.
More than that. I mean he's killed everything, but the only thing after that would be a whale and a Mojo would be all that's left.
Right, and Mojo's likely taking the last hit in the gut.
Right, yeah, for 6 or whatever, so he's almost dead.
Right, and that's without Flurry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think kind of, you know, some of the haters aside, like, I don't think that these folks played against Hawkeye 1,438 times last year.
Do we all agree that this is better than Hawkeye?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, Hawkeye had his Proxima Spear.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy has Flurry.
Right. So, you know, I think the thing that everyone talks about is like rollouts are a big deal against Vulture, and I'm like, yeah, that's agree. I play Unimind, if he doesn't hit his shape change or rollouts, shape change, super senses, and impervious 5 times in a row, then he dies. I lived that life. I've experienced that life of missing those 5 rollouts in a row. Mm-hmm. That shit happens. You die in that scenario. And like Jason Weingard and what's her name? Who am I thinking of? Chase Jean. You like, if those folks fail their rollouts, they just die.
They don't have rollouts, do
they? Jason has shape change.
Really?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
But now, and everyone says, you know, I don't know, like, you know, Weingard's going to hit his rollouts, and then Barrier. So let's just talk a quick aside on Barrier. Songbird's coming out in the set that can back row place a free square barrier and get rid of any barrier markers that slows down the dude.
Also, Barrier was a thing when Hawkeye was there, and Hawkeye was still the most dominant team for like months.
Right. And I think going into Nationals last year, let's not forget that Hawkeye was on Pat's team too. But I think Hawkeye was going to be super dominant going into Nats had it not been for ABPI coming out. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of your top players that were playing Hawkeye just switched to playing the Elders, which had a much solider chance of beating the Avengers, 9 Hawkeye anyways. But you give Hawkeye Flurry, and he's 15 points cheaper,
and let him stack it, right? Like that's
it's the stack that's the issue.
Well, no. I just think it's an issue, but the stack makes it worse.
Right.
Like, if you let like just one or two things, that's. I mean, I don't like Vulture. I don't know. I want to go on a huge tangent, but I just think it's really bad for the game.
Well,
I don't.
And while I don't disagree with you, short of a change of Vulture to WizKids, like for me, like everyone says, oh, things will be different by the time Nationals gets here. Well, I think part of our podcast is we go with every event counts, right? Every event accounts from a competitive level build up, and February WKOs have the potential to be quote unquote ruined by Vulture if he's not fixed. Now, I think a lot of players that were playing Hawkeye last year can just dig out all their Giant Girls and Star Fox and just play it with Vulture and be fine.
And it beats like 80% of teams or something if they don't have some weird barrier tech that you don't plan against or something.
Right, weird barrier tech. I think like the best teams against it are the teams that were good against Hawkeye, like Uni Lockjaw, full Uni, barrier tech, right? And those things aren't necessarily easy to play, and two, very popular at the moment.
Another thing I want to stress is like we're not saying Vulture's unbeatable. Like he's not like you. There are ways to beat Vulture, obviously.
Right. Unseen being the big one, right? Run up, outwit his charge.
Yeah, there are just other ways. Like when I won Worlds, like Vulture, Hawkeye was legal. There were people playing Hawkeye. He just, people just beat him. He didn't make it to the top tables, right?
You didn't have to face a Hawkeye, right?
No, I didn't run into one. But I've beat Hawkeyes before. Not on 100. Like it was my lowest win rate probably, but maybe like 40% of the time I beat him. But
right. And then when I beat Hawkeye whenever I played Starro against him, I beat LTVH playing Hawkeye on my Rock World Cup win.
Granted these were both obviously before Proxima, which made him a lot better.
Sure.
But the issue isn't for me that he can be beat. The issue is that he limits the field so much. Like he makes most of the figures liabilities. And even if most of your team has like ways to deal with them or don't die to Hawk, if like 200 points of your team doesn't die to Vulture and the other 100 points do, then he just goes off and your whole team's dead. So it makes people unplayable against Vulture.
Right. Like it makes a lot of the retail heavy teams pretty much unplayable.
Anything that dies to 6 damage twice.
Well, now I would say Tyler hates it. I love it.
Yeah, I hate it
because Unimind has a really good Vulture matchup. Particularly, I'm okay with that. Now, the only caveat is, well, Dan, you just said you lost to Pat playing Uni, and I was playing the not so good Uni team at Nationals. The Uni Lockjaw team has a pretty stellar Vulture matchup because it just doesn't die to 6 damage in the face twice. It's not easy, and I have to hit a rollout, but it just is what it is.
And I mean, you mentioned this a minute ago. I mean, this Vulture team does have a caveat of most likely not having Battle Fury. I don't believe there's an Avenger method of getting Battle Fury.
But here's the thing: Hawkeye went against the magical shape change and won.
Yeah, consistently.
Right. Yeah.
Not to say you shouldn't run, but a third of the time or 2/3 of the time shape change is useless.
Right. Now Hawkeye had precision strike, but Hawkeye was also tied down by terrain and pogs. Vulture is not tied down by terrain and pogs.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
He flies and ignores characters. The best possible combination of all that crap.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
like it.
and if anything, it becomes to where Hawkeye was definitely a gatekeeper team for Nationals last year, and for that whole time with Proxima Sphere.
Mhm.
I mean, somebody can just play Hawkeye and just say, or I'm sorry, play Vulture and say, well, you're not playing a theme. I will have an 11 for map. I win map. I TK out my Vulture and hope for the best.
Mhm.
And most likely they'll do okay.
Kind of, for me, the nail in the coffin for why this shouldn't be is when they did their watch list, they specifically so I'll read it verbatim. No changes are being made to Vulture at this time. While Vulture has the potential to make many attacks in one turn, he reaches that potential through a dedicated team. Often, those teams are not themed and require Vulture to equip an object. So, the reason they gave that they didn't fix him is that he couldn't make it on a theme to equip his item early. Like, that was the reason they gave to why they weren't changing him. And then 2 sets later, they give him the option to be themed so he can equip his item.
And they're probably not going to fix him.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
they
their
should.
thought process is probably going to be, well, he gets high theme thanks to Giant Girls. Giant Girls are going away in July.
Well, no, there's other cheap stuff. You can get a +8 theme pretty easy.
But
Like, there's
still,
cheaper
Giant
stuff.
Girls is the easy, like super easy. I played 5 of them. I got +5 fame for 50 points.
I mean, it's yeah, but it
I'm
doesn't.
just going in the head of like the thought process of why watch list him again if and just because he has theme now. Like he should be, but I
Because
think
their stated reason for not changing him is because he couldn't theme. That was their stated reason for not changing him.
I think it's just maybe I'm hoping they have something in the pipeline to fix after resolutions. I think that is the biggest issue we have in the game. It's
Right.
the whole stacking at the end of actions resolve. It's the whole colossal retail issue. It's like something about after actions resolve or after resolutions just doesn't work.
Right.
I don't.
And so I think the other part of that is that maybe there's something coming out in the Justice League Unlimited set that'll
Wait,
fix him for Nationals.
what's wrong with after resolutions? I don't think there's
I don't
any.
I don't like the fact that you get to choose like he hits a bunch of mystics people or he rolls poorly or something. He doesn't take all of that until after he does everything.
Well, no,
Is it-
that's not true.
Not the crit miss. I mean purely he charges, he hits all the mystics if there's mystics. That doesn't happen till after resolution, so he could choose to keep charging.
Well, no.
Going.
So that's not how it works. So he would do his first charge. Let's say he kills 2 mystics pieces. Then there was 2 after resolutions things, the charge and the damage. So he'd get the charge again, but then you would have to take the mystics there
No.
after the second charge.
Incorrect.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's
No,
how.
they literally ruled that the other way because they didn't want folks writing down, quote unquote, writing down which order those things happen in.
Hmm.
Because if so, then you're stacking the order of resolutions that things happen, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah, there was another piece that all this came up with. I feel like that this after resolutions happened. I don't think it was Volta. There's something else that happened.
Wendigo?
I don't.
No, I'll see if I can find it. There's a specific thread. It might even be the after resolutions effects. Give me a second to.
Yeah, I don't even
Okay.
think that's a big deal. I
Oh
don't
no
think
no
that's
it,
something
no no
that should be-
here it is. It's actually on the WizKids rules form. Give me a second, and I'll read it. I know when Vulture KOs a Mystic's team ability figure, the active player can choose to charge first before he takes the damage. What happens if Vulture KOs another Mystic's TA figure? Can the active player choose to resolve charge again before taking Mystics, or does he have to take the earlier triggered Mystics before using charge? Okay, so anytime the active player must choose to resolve effects, they may resolve any applicable effects waiting to resolve at that specific time. There is no order to the effects, so effects triggered later can be chosen to resolve before before effects triggered later, assuming they're all resolving at the same time. In the provided example, as long as he continues to KO characters, Vulture may resolve all uses of charge first before having to resolve the damage to be taken by triggering the Mystic's team ability.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. That's not what breaks Vulture, though.
But
I just wanted to be very clear on.
Yeah, sure.
On that
it may not break Vulture, but it leaves out possible counter effects. Like if I build my team with a majority of Mystics, I know that if this wasn't the ruling, he would charge, hit me twice, he loses that charge power. So he's basically done.
It's a trait.
It's a trait.
Or I'm sorry, he loses. No, he loses. You're right. He loses charge, but he can still do it after resolutions if he KOs. Yeah. But he goes down on damage. He goes down on attack. It's just it removes that counter, minor counter, if you will.
Sure, but I think if you fix it, it's still broken. It's still inherently broken. That's just what I mean. I've been saying this since he came out, since Hawkeye. I don't like a piece that can wipe a team in one turn. I just don't like that. I don't think that's a balanced mechanic. I don't think it can be balanced because it's too easy to break with things, cool effects like this is a cool effect that Captain America does, bringing somebody into a theme team. That's super cool. Giving somebody Flurry with a Dr. Octopus arms, that's super cool. It's just something like Vulture is too easy to break. It limits what they can put into the game. It limits pieces that other players can play. Like, I just think that mechanic is inherently broken.
So I'm with you, Tyler. I mean, you're definitely on point. Now, I think the reason the Ferengi Salvage Crew is not a really great counter is that the Ferengi Salvage Crew dies to 5 damage. So Vulture, at worst case, is trading 50 for 50, and then punching. Charge. Yeah, and then so he trades 50 for 50, and then punches one of your other pieces on your team for 5 damage.
Same reasons in that Mr. Terrific isn't a good counter to him.
Yeah, I agree. So the Ferengi piece can still steal the Ock arms, but it is far from ruin the day of any Vulture team. It's very far from ruining their day.
So I don't know if you're about to segue into this, but for a lot of people, WKOs are their nationals. Like, they can't travel to nationals.
Agreed.
So how would you prepare for February? Because the meta won't be set by the time WKOs are coming out. WKOs are going to be the setting point of the meta going forward. How do you prepare for that?
I hope your WK is on February 8th.
Which mine is. One of mine is.
I like that. Ours is not, though.
Mine is sealed on February 8th. So
what is a humble Wales player to do on February 12th? That's what I need to know, or whatever it is, 15th.
February 15th. Well, I would say that
February 22nd.
Well, the 15th is Lexington for us.
Yeah.
But I'd say the humble well player might want to be swiping right on Tinder to find him a nice date on the 14th, so that the blow of Vulture is at least lessened to him on the 15th. Yes.
Gotcha.
Unless the person you're swiping on has in their profile, I am solely a Vulture player.
Then I avoid
that.
Yeah, you're swiping right on somebody and it's just a picture of Vulture. And you're like, I love birds that can attack multiple times per turn.
Yeah.
Or she's like, I have a bird collection. Oh, what do you have? Like parrots and parakeets? No, I only collect vultures.
And I hate whales.
Yeah. I'm coming to Lexington, Tyler, and I'm going to play Vulture and Blade on an Avengers team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, poor Blade.
Just for you.
Everybody forgot about him.
Yeah, like we didn't even get to talk about Blade. Now, I don't know, for what it's worth, like, and we're talking about Vulture being on an 11 theme team. I would say that Blade is the same deal, right? Like, there was enough, like, again, I'm going to say this again, Tyler, as being a very nice thing to you, is Blade was going to be a good enough play for us locally, if I was going to go to Lexington on the 15th before Vulture, I was just going to play Blade.
Were you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Six of them.
I was have no problem going to have a +11 Vulture, or I'm sorry, Blade Doc Arms team. I mean, and that dude gets to heal above his dang stop click.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, Blade is fantastic on the Avengers team too. He just gets outshined by Vulture.
Yeah.
So I was making sure it was all that I had on my list. Like I also like, in general, I do like playing Rogue ID card on the Vulture team now, for the Mystics. Because you can steal energy and keep your and for the pushing damage if you don't hit your turn 2 leadership. That was something that Hawkeye did not have, is that he would have had to push, but he kept his same stats.
Right. Yeah.
But he, Hawkeye couldn't use steal energy from range.
Yeah. No.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I will say, going into your WKOs, if you're thinking, I'll just go barrier, Dan alluded to Songbird. You have to be prepared for Songbird. Will she see a lot of play? I don't know. There are ways to stop her, because as me and Tyler debated about this yesterday, there's not a way for her to get to you turn 1. There has to be a little bit of setup, which she would be going at you turn 2 anyway, because that's when Vulture goes. But you can stop that turn 2 if you prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of hard to explain without seeing a map. But you have to prepare for Songbird. So that means you have to prepare to take a giant girl out that might carry her forward turn 2 or first turn. So just, if you're playing barrier, don't think I'm just going to hide in my hidey hole and send out pogs or do whatever. You have to be prepared to maybe take out a giant girl turn 1 after they've moved out, because that's the only way they're going to get Songbird over there to take out your barrier. So that's a little something to keep in mind.
Another thing that could help you, and Alex, you're going to like this. You've already said it. The Magneto. The Days of Future Past, or the animated series, OP Kit thing, the release day.
Oh yeah, Savage Land, the Savage Land Magneto.
Yep, the Savage Land Magneto can remove Vulture from the board for 3 turns.
Now I would go ahead and give Chris Cottrell a shout out.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say too.
Is that that man's already been playing that?
Pretty good results.
Yeah, he got top 8.
Yep. Yeah, that'll screw over a Vulture team. For sure.
But now, the Avengers Vulture team would also have like Star Fox and other items to fight back with.
Will it have Star Fox? I'm not sure.
The one I built had Star Fox on it.
Okay. What was the plus?
It was not a +11. It still was like +8, I think.
Plus
7
8.
or 8.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 or 9. It depends on how far I wanted to go with it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, in the +11 version, still has giant girls punching for a ton of damage.
Yeah, but 250 points of X-Men or 250 points of Avengers. I'm going with Avengers or X-Men until Vulture comes back.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know if I completely agree with that one. It is a very good counter to it.
Yeah.
It's also a really good counter to say removing a Lockjaw off the board. Yep. Removing a Mojo off the board.
Oh, wait. Is it a standard character?
No, it's any opposing.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Good luck. You don't get your Mojo. I don't get my Lockjaw. Yeah. You can remove a Jason Mindguard or a Jean from the map.
That's huge.
It's
going on me.
Yeah, the problem is the X-Men in general is not a good matchup for Vulture. So if you can have enough damage to go along with Magneto, then maybe.
When do these figures come back? At the end of your turn, remove a loss. When the last loss. So it's at the end of your turn they come back. That sucks. because then Vulture comes back at the end of your turn, and then he might get to go off. I mean, he wouldn't be equipped, and hopefully a lot of his reflexes would be dead, so maybe he can't like kill the Wolverines, but something to watch out for.
Yeah.
Or he just goes and kills Magneto and then the Lila and then the Moras and just leaves the 3 Wolverines by themselves.
Yeah, it depends on how many perplexers are left.
And you can also prepare because you get to choose where they go in the starting area.
Oh, that's true.
Because it says place Magneto and the chosen character in their starting areas in squares of your choice. Yeah. So you could just be like, all right, I have all my Walking Wood. Well, he ignores characters, but I have something prepared. I barrier this one section and leave a hole.
There you go. Barrier with the X-Men team.
I mean, it's something to think about in tech. I mean, it's not an invalid point that you made.
Thought process, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this: how bad? Vulture has so many perplexes that taking a -2 to attack and damage isn't anything, right?
A damage definitely hurts him, I think.
If you're gonna say the words Harry Leland out of your mouth next,
yeah. He's 50 points. You technically could bring him to an Avengers team. I mean, it's not a good play, but I mean, if you have no other options.
Wait, I don't even remember what this guy does. Opposing characters in 4 squares modify their attacking damage by -2 if they have moved this turn. Opposing characters can replace.
That's about it. That's about it. That's all he does. Is he just if they moved -2 to attack
50 points for that? Why does he have 19 on his second click? That annoys me so much. Why does he have 19 on his first click?
I'm just trying to think of counters to this for the people playing in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
I mean, he's Hellfire Club theme. I mean, that means you can't kill your Jason in one shot, probably.
Yeah, but you could put him on Avengers if you really, really, really wanted to go that route. I mean, the other obvious choice, if you like to gamble, is you could play the Professor X ID, try to give your whole team shape change. Kind of like you used to do for Hawkeye. Like Tyler used to do for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It's not great, but
33% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah.
That's like even worse than that movie quote.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Impervious does stop him as well, so like Colossus ID is worth it. I don't know. It becomes like a change in tech for 300 Modern, which I don't think is a problem, right? The meta adjusts, right? It gets boring otherwise, right? Like, like in the way that Alex doesn't like the stacking of charges and that sort of thing. I think the after resolutions, being able to activate any action and then get the after resolutions effect, is absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I'm 100% glad that things like the Tri-Sentinel spam now has the Vulture boy to try to take them down. Because just being able to activate Tri-Sentinel retail is not fair, right? I mean, it's just not a fair thing.
Yeah, I think I agree that needs to be changed probably. They just need the updated wording. Well, no, there's some other wording. I don't know. They need to update the wording then. Another thing you could do for Vulture would be Exodus as well. Makes him stop. He can't charge you.
But then again, that comes into play like Exodus. That's just
Exodus is okay.
Exodus is okay, sure. He's probably bad.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, his thing maxes out at 8 squares. Jean Grey has a range of 8 squares from the X-Men. Yeah, the XXS Jean Grey. Cyclops has that as well. They just shoot Exodus.
Yeah.
Now you can body block him and that sort of thing, but if you're body blocking him, that's also meaning that he's 1 square at a minimum further back from having his effect come into play.
Yeah, it's not good against anything but Vulture, but it's good against Vulture.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to suggest bad counters here. I think the counter to the team is don't play things that are reliant on big retail heavy themes.
Man.
I think if I was to just clarify and be a little bit more honest, I would be happy if everyone played the exact same Unimind Lockjaw team and we all battled it out. I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I'm being a little facetious.
That's like saying, no, I'm not calling you an idiot, Dan, but it's like the never argue with an idiot because they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. it's like what you're saying. Like, everybody just play Unimind Lockjaw. It's fine. I've just been practicing it for 3 years.
You're not wrong. It's more of the non-offensive version of that one is never wrestle with a pig because they'll get you in the mud and beat you with experience.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, I mean, I'm being a little funny there, but, I think that, like, the Kobik-based teams have a fairly good chance because she has dual rollouts and a high defense, and the Q teams have a good, like the Kobik Unseen Trader with the Living Spirits will guide us, Super Senses reroll. Probably have a pretty good chance of having a dual rollout against the first flurry. So like those are probably okay.
There's some form of Don't Die that might be good enough.
Yeah, like your Daredevil Danger Room, that kind of stuff. But like,
oh yeah, Hulk. Yeah.
Those, Immortal Hulk is fine. But, like, those teams have to be careful that – because a lot of times those things only add up to about 200 points, and you mentioned this earlier. If you can build up charges off the first 100 points of the team –
right.
Off of 100 points
of the team, a lot.
You can burn through a lot. And, like, you got to remember that Vulture doesn't have to kill the whole team because Giant Girl spam, AIM guys can call out not Prime Colossus. They can call out Iceman. They can call out Blue Phoenix. They can call out Magneto. They can call out Rusty. There's a lot of offense that is sub 30 points able to be ID'd. Giant Girls can still charge and heal. So, like, Hawkeye went down, and I've seen Hawkeye teams win after Hawkeye did.
Right, yeah, I've seen that too.
So, there's still 250 points left of the team. There's a Captain America that you have to kill twice that can ID card out things.
Yep.
So, I don't know if there's a way to, like, sum up this whole discussion. I think kind of to put it to a T, unless you guys have something else, would be it may not become the top team, but it becomes a very good team that shifts the meta very quickly.
Yeah. Just like what I want to get out of it is like whether it becomes a good team, like the best team or not, even if it doesn't win any WKOs at all, like I stand by the fact that it's just bad for the meta because it limits it so much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like even if what it doesn't limit beats it, it still kicks out everything else.
Which I'm okay with it because I'm tired of playing against Tylor's Whales. So
I'm still playing them. I don't care.
Yeah, in 2 months from now, we'll probably have some sort of solution for Vulture.
Yeah.
There'll be either a new fig we get in Justice League or something, a WKO prize. That's okay, here you go.
I'm gonna laugh at the Deadpool the Duck.
All figures named Vulture must stop immediately when using charge.
Yeah. My thought is just bring Faust back unerrated.
No.
What's exciting is that Vulture can't charge you, and all he can take is ranged actions.
Yep. Faust is still worse. No matter how much, I hate Vulture, Faust is still worse.
Oh man.
Gosh.
Oh, I do love some Felix Faust.
No, God, no.
You know what? One place we didn't mention is Dr. Claire Finn.
I was gonna. Yeah, I thought about her.
Yeah.
She'd be good with a bunch of Hulks.
What does she do?
She brings out the
great-
Yaphet Pog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has side step. Gives everybody a side step. Yeah.
Oh, it's like she. What? Why are we talking about her though?
For back to Steve Rogers.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
We also did. I am insulted. Nobody mentioned Robbie Reed being an
Oh my
Avenger.
I thought about him. Yeah.
I'm just I wish everybody. I don't want to mention him because then people think about him, and then he might get played, and then I'll have to learn what he does, and I don't want to do that. So everybody just keep ignoring him, okay?
He's one of those figs you look at and you're like, oh yeah, man, he could do a ton. But then you read it more and you're like, well, yeah. I mean, the H style's cool. He could pick, now he could pick either a WWE power
That's right.
or a standard power.
Reversal Robbie Reed, baby.
Wait a minute. He's got an activation click?
Yeah.
Yeah, before he gets, he can still use the H style. He just, before he gets when he uses the H style, he gets all that extra stuff.
Oh. Huh.
But the reason besides the craziness that he is, his keywords are garbage. Past. That's it. So now he's in a part of the Avengers team. He actually could see play. Like, legit.
Yeah, so I like that, right? And there's a couple other fringe ones that we talked about, like Power Woman.
Yeah.
She's giving the Shield or Avengers a 5th action.
Yep.
And like Power Woman has enhancement. So like that's making those shields another freaking ID card cannon. I'm living it up in the city.
Trader Gardner. I think somebody said Trader, but Gardner you could use.
Yeah.
Starfire, Shade the Changing Girl.
Yeah.
Basically all the good cosmic pieces can now become an Avenger.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which, I guess the cosmic pieces don't benefit as much because they already had high theme. It's just you get the theme team probs. It's really the pieces people aren't thinking about or aren't thinking about as much are the ones that have really garbage keywords that really could use a good keyword because they didn't have theme anyway, generally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's just so many. It's just really cool, man. I just love it.
You play Trouble Alert Firestorm now.
You could always do that. He's good.
Corrupt Cop.
You could do Corrupt Cop.
Oh, Corrupt Cop being an Avenger. I like that.
Play her with Immortal Hulk.
Forge. He already had X-Men, but it's something.
Forge is one of those pieces that you wish was way better, and he is not.
Dude, I've gotten wrecked by a Forge before.
Yeah, I got wrecked by a Forge. And
everyone, I remember when Forge came out, everyone's like, yeah, I can't wait till we get that Forge ID.
Oh, the new Trick Shot is super cool. I like him a lot. He's 50 points. You could do that.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's only an uncommon, too. I like him. He's cool.
You could bring Robin, the Chase Robin from Elseworlds.
What, the one that makes motorcycles and stuff?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Style Batwing and all that stuff.
Oh, he likes that a lot.
I do like that a lot. That makes me excited.
Yeah.
Man.
I know.
My mind is just turning.
Just wait for Sam. We know how much she loves King Shark. There is a 50-point version of King Shark.
Yeah, true.
You bring King Shark over for an adventure.
Oh, that's a good way to get King Shark his map. Now, I would say what I don't like is I don't like any of the WWE figures because they can just get shot from range on their low dials.
Yeah.
And none of them, top dial, have that ability. I know that we're running long on talking about these, but dang, there's just so many good ones.
That's what made when did this come out? Thursday, Friday? I don't remember. That was like the most exciting day in a long time for HeroClix, I think.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
The coin turtles too are good.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many. Captain Kirk and Uhura. There you go.
Oh, that's finally.
They're themed
Yeah,
now.
I'm not so sure if I'm a fan of that one, but
Remove that one barrier marker.
Well, you can just TK Vulture through the barrier on the Avengers team.
Oh, true. Yeah, I never think about that.
With Voyager.
If it makes.
oh my gosh, that's right.
That'd be hilarious. So someone planning out this Iceman ID call in, got all these giant girls burying up or whatever, and it's like, all right, TK you through that barrier.
They just forget.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me super excited. I also liked the Transporter Lockjaw.
I love that piece. It's real good.
The 40-point lockjaw, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Probably on a shield team, like he becomes a little bit cheaper Phil Coulson. I'm just kind of looking through everything that's less than 50 points before we wrap up today.
See if we forgot like really
I
good.
don't want to make sure. I want to make sure we try to get as many as possible. Hold on. What about the enforcers can make those free attacks? Will those have no? They gotta.
I looked.
Oh, Fancy Dan?
You need the enforcer keyword. I looked.
You need the enforcer keyword. Okay, all right.
Yeah, before you get excited, Lila doesn't work either. You need the X-Wing keyword.
Yep.
It's keyword specific, not just Lila.
Or Celebrity, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was thinking finally a great teleporter that's cheaper than Coulson, but
Ooh, President Osborne. Get those +1 stats times 2.
There you go. It's true.
Uh,
I think that's it. I think we're out.
No, I'm still looking. Give me one. Give me a little bit. Give me a few more seconds, Tyler.
Okay.
I do like Sheriff Steve Rogers as well because they can't up their attack
Alex
value.
Wilder.
yeah,
Alex Wilder's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do Superman, super rare Wolverine. Well, we
Super
sort of
Wolverine.
Yeah. Just bring 50 point in and just have him. He's an Avenger half the time. Anyway.
That's right. Golden Skull.
Ew.
Perplex, leadership, mastermind, the death bots, and you modify attack.
Man.
I like him on the shield team.
I hate Golden Skull.
For at least making the ID cards even more awesome.
I heard a lot of people mention Red Leader at some point.
He's not. Oh, he is modern. Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That guy's cool.
Here's a good one, Tyler, that you'll like. There's no reason you wouldn't like this one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Darwin as an Avenger.
Yeah, I mean, you could. It's okay. I'm not super.
There's
There's
not enough pickup powers anymore. You know,
That is true.
Dan, before we wrap up all this stuff, do you want to talk about your love for Arno Stark?
I don't like Arno Stark because they're going to probably change his improved targeting to be garbage, so.
Let's just skip it. I didn't think he was that good before. You need a setup turn.
Yeah, agreed. So, hold on. I'm through Marvel. I'm working on DC real quick.
There's actually a decent amount of DC that you don't think about because it feels like every figure in the Batman set was under 50 points anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Like you said, well, I mean, seriously, if you go to the Batman set, you scroll through, you're like, Avengers Affinity, X-Men, and you go down to Batman, and there's a lot of Batman, like a whole lot of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But half of those Batman ones are Gotham City Underworld anyway, and so they have their own team ability that's
Right, they share.
yeah. So it's like
Ooh. Citizen Steel.
Oh, that's a good one.
So that
Yeah,
you
I
can
like that.
attack and not have to worry about the close attack stuff so much.
now. Tell me this: if I'm building Vulture, do I dare try to build with Colonel Poison?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you get enough perplex.
Because
Otherwise,
you'd have to play another Steve Rogers, and so that's going to eat up a ton of points.
yeah,
But
you're
as
at,
someone
you're
who
at
might be
two.
definitely scared of shape change, do I dare to build with Colonel Poison?
If
I
you're
don't
definitely
think it
afraid of shape
works.
change, then yes.
I don't think it works.
Because that ends up being, what, 190? Everything said and done? How much is Colonel Poison?
40.
40, so that'd be 190. You still got 2 perplexes from the Steve Rogers. So you got to just build in some giant growth. You essentially don't have a second attacker. You just perplexes and giant girls.
Oh, I like this one. Baby doll.
No, I don't understand why you like this figure.
I don't understand it
I
either.
don't get it.
Jason, do you know? Do you have some insight to Dan that I just don't know about Baby Doll?
I don't know why he's latched onto it so great much either. I don't know.
He loves that figure.
Were you a big Rugrats fan growing up? And you
No.
realized that it looks like Chucky and what was her face?
Angelica.
Angelica.
Yeah.
Is it just a Rugrats thing?
I don't know. I don't know about all that, but I like her.
Okay. Well, you're allowed to like Dan.
Yeah, it's just fun. Okay, whatever. Hold on, I'm down to Harley Quinn.
Oh my God.
Almost there, Tyler. Oh, hold on.
You can make Starfire an Avenger. You didn't talk about her.
We mentioned her. We did mention her briefly.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, that sucks. I was gonna think of Red Tornado from Harley Quinn, but she specifies Justice Society.
Yep, sadly.
No one mentioned you could make Minotaur an Avenger.
Okay, I was going for halfway decent ones here.
If you just want to annoy Tyler, play Minotaur as an Avenger so he doesn't get his stupid seals.
That would
Just to annoy him. That's all.
Don't do that.
That's all you would do. You would just an annoyance, but it's enough to annoy him that maybe it'll throw off his game and he'll forget his mojo tokens or whatever.
That might work. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness, I'm running out of.
He's gonna look at the Emperor Penguin he gets and be like, I don't even know what this does. Let's just forget it.
Just not even gonna place it.
You can place it for me. I don't even want it.
So, all right, let's round it out with final thoughts today. Jason, what do you got?
I don't have anything. I'm just tired. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's been it's a Vulture mega episode today for sure.
My kid woke up before 6 a.m. this morning. Like I don't even know, man. Yeah.
All right, Tyler.
What? Final thoughts?
Yep.
They need to errata Vulture. I'm gonna stick on that.
Fair enough. Alex.
Sudden Death will be back for sure. For the 2 fans that like it.
For the 2 fans.
Those 2 fans will be
2
back.
loyal fans.
Yes, thank you, loyal fans. It'll be back.
I don't know. I, for one, welcome our new Flappy Bird, the Avenger Overlord.
No.
And all of the pathways it'll clears for teams that are bad for uni.
I like it.
Oh me, I gotta rethink probably playing those 2 extra floors now.
Yeah,
Yep.
you definitely do.
Skyscraper Wonder Woman's probably fine, but not the extra floras.
Is she fine? I don't know. Gives him 2 extra attacks.
Yeah, she's fine. I played it before with Groot, so it was okay.
Just go Dark Phoenix again. Impervious.
No, I'm not doing that.
He
I gotta
said
have 5
no.
IDs. Gotta have 5 IDs. Alright. Everybody, thanks for listening to Clickstuff today. We'll talk to y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.